This is the Padres POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the
San Diego Padres.
Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, Padre fan, and welcome to your Padres POSTCAST on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. My name is Jim Greasehaber. Of course, you know my name is Grease if you're an everydayer, and obviously love you everydayers. Thank you for being here. Tough one for the Padres today in San Diego. They lose at home 4-3 in the opener to the Baltimore Orioles. They never had the lead in this game. They were playing from behind all day. Everything was hard from the start. And why was that? It's because Dylan Cease chose to make it hard. It isn't like he's going out there on purpose and saying, hey, I want to make this hard. But every start, he does this to himself. He has incredible stuff where he can strike out 7 guys in 4 innings. The same stuff where he was barely holding on. And I'm talking escaping jams 3 innings in a row, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th innings with runners in scoring position and having to strike guys out. Pitch count keeps going up, and Dylan Cease does not give the Padres anything close to what they needed today after a bullpen game yesterday. Luckily, the bullpen was fresh, but even though they were, Adrian Morejon gives up his first earned run since August 3rd, solo home run, and Jason Adam gives up an earned run too. Suarez was on the mound when it scored, but it was Adam's run, and injury to insult, Jason Adam popped the tendon in his quad. Yeah, infield single, and he turned the wrong way, popped the tendon in his quad, and he is out. We don't know how long yet, but they've confirmed it is a popped tendon in his quad. And you know the quad, for those of you who don't know, that's your thigh muscle, and that's what the pitcher pushes off of to get all his power. So there you have it. Dylan Beavers singled home the go-ahead run. Luis Arraez picked up his 1,000th hit in this game. So many things to unpack as the Padres kept fighting back. You love the fight. You love the spirit. You love the heart of this team. But at this time of year, when you got, 24 games left, an L is an L is an L, and the Dodgers off today, so you fall to 2.5 back in the West. It's 4-3 Orioles. It's your Padres POSTCAST, Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanking you for making us your first watch or listen. I am Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease. We're free on YouTube. Right after the game, we go live after the YouTube show. Hey, we upload, you download, and it's simple. Apple, iHeart, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, and, of course, Roku. You're down with OTT. Yeah, you know me. Look at the audience surging. You can come on in the chat. And, by the way, a sub is great, too. And Locked On Padres podcast on all these channels. A sub for Javi is a sub for me, and vice versa. So here we are, unpacking another very, very tough loss. It's your POSTCAST. It's Grease, Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. 4-3 O's. Let's roll.
This is what you'll be talking about.
The wrong Dylan. That's who we're talking about. Dylan Beavers, not Dylan Cease. Dylan Beavers singles home the go-ahead run with 2 outs in the 7th inning. And then in the bottom of the 7th, he makes a great running catch on Manny Machado with Arraez on base. Luis Arraez picked up his 1,000th hit in that inning. He already drove in a run earlier in the game to make it 2-2 on a 9-pitch at-bat. Ramon Laureano with a 3-2 pitch, a single, and a big spot to make it 3-3 in the 5th. The Padres battling. 4 of their 6 hits today came with 2 strikes. They were battling against a very good pitcher today. And again, you had Ryan yesterday for the Twins, and, a good team is a good team. Yes, but a good pitcher, you know what I mean? That matters more. And Kyle Bradish is a guy who's been in Cy Young contention before, had Tommy John surgery. But if you look at 2023 Bradish, you look at him now, he looked a lot more like that today, right? So one of those things that just didn't work out in the Padres' favor today to have to face a guy like that on the heels of facing a guy like Joe Ryan yesterday. So Beavers singles home the go-ahead run, 2 outs in the 7th off Suarez. Run charge to Jason Adam. Collapsed in pain on the mound a couple of batters earlier when Gunnar Henderson tapped one off the mound on an infield hit. Adam went to go and push off that leg to go left, or to his right, actually. Left on your screen, to his right. And collapsed, and then it was carted off, obviously. 2nd straight game, lost by the Padres, 2.5 back of the Dodgers. Just one of those freak things with Jason Adams' injury. Immediately signaled for the trainer, laid on the ground, stayed there. He falls to 8-4, but that's not the concern right now. Morejon and Adam giving up runs late on a day when Cease really struggled, only makes it 4 innings, gives up 5 hits, 2 earned runs, walks 2, strikes out 7. And had to really pitch out of trouble to do it. I mean, you're talking about Cease time and time again pitching out of trouble to get just through what he got through. The second, third, and fourth innings were harrowing. He had back-to-back strikeouts in the second, leaving a guy on second, and that was the guy who had driven in the first run of the game, by the way. Stuck him on second base after the 2-run double, infield hit, and a walk, and then a 2-run double, and it was Samuel Basallo, a 2-run double, So San Diego ties it. Bradish walked Gavin Sheets, who's been real good lately, and Cronenworth to open the bottom half. And a 1-out RBI single by Bryce Johnson, 2-out RBI single by Louis Arraez. This is the second inning, but they're always playing from behind throughout the game. The Orioles regain the lead in the fifth. Morejon gives up the solo homer to Jeremiah Jackson. Laureano ties it in the bottom of the fifth. It's 3-3. You know what I'm saying? And, yeah, I mean, you had your chances. Manny's ball in the seventh. In the ninth inning, which I want to get to in a moment, but I want to make this the turning point. It almost has to be the turning point, but I'll get to it in just a second. Arraez, 3 hits on the day, 1,000th career hit. He strikes out to end the game. Poetic justice probably never should have been up because, you know what I mean, Will Wagner grounded into a ball that should have been a double play that ended the game. And the Orioles first baseman, for some reason, inexplicably took his foot off the bag when he didn't even have to. It was ridiculous. But Keegan Aiken got the save anyway. And, it was one of those games for Dylan Cease, and I want to hit on that real quick first because it's only right. For me to sit here and, rip on Mike Shildt too much, and I do it day in and day out more and more lately, and I didn't do it very much until recently. But, when he didn't have the tools in the toolbox, if you're supposed to be a master craftsman, right, and someone says, hey, go in and fix my house, and of course I'm exaggerating here for effect. My dad was a handyman screaming at me the whole time, and I'm trying to hold the wood, so I have a hard time with these things. But saying you're a world-class handyman, right? You can fix the whole house. You can do everything, drywall, wiring, plumbing, do it all. Someone hires you and says, work your magic, but they don't give you the tools to do it. You only have the tools to do half the job. Well, that was the Padres for Mike Shildt before the deadline, before A.J. Preller pulled the rabbits out of that hat and brought in Ryan O'Hearn and Ramon Laureano from these very same Orioles, and brought in Mason Miller from the A's to fortify that bullpen. Thank God now he did that, right? All you people who criticized it then. Yeah, so those things happen, and Preller did a magnificent job. Fermin, bringing him in, upgrade at catcher, made the bench that much stronger just by doing that. So a great job. And they've done, I think, a pretty good job throughout the year of building up some of these younger players so they can contribute off the bench now in the proper ways. Okay, but first things first, let me get to Dylan Cease. He got him 1-2-3 in the first. I'll give him that. Padres in the first, Arraez with the single. Manny strikes out Fernando Tatis Jr., by the way, a late scratch right before the game. Yesterday, he came up lame and grabbed his hamstring. And Shildt talked about it after the game, talking about the day game after, a night game and flying across the country. They came from Minnesota. Easy for me to say. I've been around the game my whole life, but I didn't have to play a game right after that. And this is the time of year where that grind really starts to hit you. That's why we've talked about the bullpen usage so much throughout the season. Where are we at on the clock here? Make sure I am all good with the time. Yeah, we got a little bit of time to finish this up. So in the second, Cease gives up an infield single with 1 out and then a walk, and then Basallo with the 2-run double. That's Dylan Cease. And then what does he do? Leaves him on second, strikes out Mayo and Jackson swinging. Swing and miss stuff from Dylan Cease. 7 strikeouts tonight. Bottom of the second, Padres, they pick them up like you're supposed to. They tie the game. Johnson and Arraez with the RBI singles. Top of the third, they don't score, but Holiday doubles to right. Jackson singles to left, Holiday to third. Henderson walks. Cease again strikes out Rivera and Beavers. Back-to-back, swinging. More disaster averted. And even in the fourth, with Cease on the mound again, a double to Basallo, and then he strikes out Mayo and Jackson to end the threat. So back-to-back strikeouts in each of those innings to end the threats for Dylan Cease, which makes you so damn mad to begin with because he's that good to do that, but he's not that good to avoid going 4 innings. And he only gave up the 2 spot today. You had to feel like it was a big win to get him the heck out of there with only 2 on the board. But, obviously you needed him to go deep into the game and pitch well today and save that pitch count and do all those things, because then you're in the bullpen again. And then you got Morejon, Adams, Suarez, and then you finish with Kyle Hart, because at that point, and even then that's a disaster. But what I want to get to about Mike Shildt is the turning point in this game. And I want to do it on the other side of the break. You're not going anywhere. Neither am I. It's Jim Grease Hauber. Call me Grease. Padres Postcast. Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Dylan Cease struggles mightily. Jason Adam leaves with what appears to be a devastating injury. We don't know how long he's going to be out. and I'm on live right now. Can't really see. I'm looking for stuff, but I'm only getting the basics right now. But I can confirm it's a ruptured tendon in a quad that he suffered in that performance today when he suffered the loss. Suarez gave up the run. It was charged to Adam. You know the deal. But there was a move that Mike Shildt made, along with one he didn't make, in the ninth inning that is driving me up a wall, okay? That's the turning point. We have the star of the game. We look ahead to tomorrow. Padres Postcast, Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease, 4-3-0s in the opener at Petco. And anybody who knows me, you know that there's always an upside, right? Positivity is the name of the game. There's always an upside. Hey, Padres Postcast and Padres Podcast viewers, listeners, friends of the programs, are you still paying full price for gas, especially in Southern California? Really got to listen up here. Stop leaving money behind. Get real cash back every time you fill up with the free Upside app. There's always an upside. Simply download the free Upside app in the App Store or Google Play right now and start earning cash at the pump today. Use my limited time promo code to do it. Season SEASON, and get an extra 25 cents back per gallon on your first fill up. You could make up to $300 a year just from buying the gas you already needed. At first, I thought it was too good to be true. You're probably thinking right now, but it's totally legit. Real people are getting paid just to make their daily commutes, and you can too. Plus, you can cash out anytime to your bank account, PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. So don't let this offer drive on by. Download the free Upside app now using my limited time promo code SEASON, SEASON, for a limited time 25-cent per gallon bonus. That's promo code SEASON, SEASON. Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions for more about the upside. There's always an upside on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And today's show is also brought to you by FanDuel. You know this, right? The NFL season is almost here, right around the corner, days away, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Don't they always have a can't-miss offer? Yes, they do, and I love them for it. Right now, new customers can bet just $5. And if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. You heard me right. Why do I love using FanDuel? I love using FanDuel because it fits however you like to bet. Player props, building a same-game parlay, or even jumping in live as the action unfolds. It makes every game more exciting, whether you're watching your team or just keeping an eye on your fantasy lineup. It's quick, it's easy, and the best way to add a little more energy to Sundays. So, are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your $5 bet, your first $5 bet with FanDuel on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And one more thing before we finish up the show here, guys. Padres Postcast, Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease. It's another big moment for Locked On in a network that's history is already full of them as we continue to change the games you love. College football fans, Locked On and Fire TV present College Football Kickoff, your ultimate college football weekly preview. That's right. Drake Toll of Locked On Big 12. What up, Drake? Leads the conversation alongside two-time AP Coach of the Year, Gary Patterson. The Horned Frog, former college star Jesse Holley is there as well, and Locked On's local experts, a college football preview only Locked On can do. Catch college football preview, college football kickoff every Thursday throughout the season only on Fire TV. As part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. All right, Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease. 4-3 the final. The Orioles win, and I'm about to get on Mike Shildt again. I mean, what am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to do? How many times do we have to live through this? How many times do we have to go through this? SoCal Bronco says our starting pitchers are going to make it real hard on our bullpen if they can't go 5 innings. And if you're watching the YouTube live, you can hop on in too. Yeah, SoCal Bronco, you're right about that. The starting pitching has been dreadful lately. They've lost, 6 out of 8 games now? And the starting pitching has been the main reason why. The 2 games that they won were great starts by Cease and Darvish, if I'm not mistaken. Other than that, no, Pivetta. Pivetta won both of them. No, it's Pivetta winning both because the good starts from Cease and Darvish were not inside that window. They were before that, and they were even up and down, so now it's just been down. Darvish trying to find his way back. Cease has never found anything. All this talk about an easy schedule, says Sub for you too. in the last month. It doesn't matter how bad the teams are. You still have to go out and play well to beat them. They're going to lose this series to the Orioles. Yeah. Oh, Kay says pinch hit Wagner to pinch run Merrill. I'm getting there, Kay. I am getting there. Are the Padres choking? And sup, Jim, says Rahul. Rahul's Dodgers 2.5 up. Thank you, Jennifer Sanchez. Support the Grease. Hit the thumbs up and hoping recovery for Adam. Very, very much. Matthew says, as a diehard Dodger fan, I should be happy. I'm not. Jason Adam is a stand-up dude. I feel for him. Picking up Miller isn't looking so crazy now. Regardless, Padres are Padres, not champions. No diss, says Matthew. And Kay says, what I'm getting to right now, which gets me to the point where I am just going to do this first.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
As Kay said it in the comments, just the letter K, by the way, just the letter K. He says, pinch hit Wagner to pinch run Merrill was the last ingredient for the lose my mind cocktail that was cleverly crafted by Mike Shildt. And here's what happened, okay? You're in the 9th inning, all right? And the 7th, Manny rips one almost to the wall. It had a chance for a minute. Had he lifted it just a smidge higher, Padres are up a run, and we could be talking about something completely different. But now remember, the Orioles had already taken the lead by a run, and that would have been a 2-run shot because Arraez was on base after picking up his 1,000th hit. And Manny's hitting second with Laureano in the 4-hole, right? Manny's hitting second with no Fernando. Remember, Fernando, a late scratch with what I have to assume would be the hamstring after the Twins game, coming up late in that game yesterday. So you had Arraez lead off, Manny second, O'Hearn, then Laureano. And O'Hearn had another hit. Laureano had the RBI single, right? Bryce Johnson, by the way, 2 hits and an RBI today for the Padres. So in the 9th inning, okay, the Padres, and I'm going to get to the star of the game in a minute, but in the 9th inning, the Padres are down a run, okay? They did their job for the most part. Morejon gives up the solo homer. Adam gives up the regular single, the infield single where he hurts himself. Suarez comes in, gives up the hit to Beavers that gives the Orioles the lead. They did it off Adam and Suarez, and they did it off Morejon. You can't bitch about this game. It's not all on Cease. He only gave up the 2 runs. Could have easily been a 5 or a 7 spot on Cease today. The 6 strikeouts that he had, 2 in a row, back-to-back in each of the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th innings to end those innings, actually kept the Padres in the game. I have to say that about Cease. What a job he did fighting back. And, you know, he was fighting himself, which is always the case with Cease. So when someone keeps fighting themselves, I mean, how bad can you feel for him? So in the 9th inning, right, the Padres come up. Aikens on the mound, the closer for the Orioles, okay? And I should just make sure I get this all the way right and make sure I have all the information correct before I just go spouting off at the mound, because we are definitely talking about a lefty who is on the mound, okay? So there you have it. And so that's why part of the reason, I'm sure in Mike Shilt's mind, that Jackson Merrill didn't hit today for Fermin. And this thing that Shildt has had lately, he's done it 3 times to hit Wagner for Fermin. I don't agree with that either. Fermin handles the bat well, puts the ball in play, he can bunt, and he's a smart player. There's a lot of things there for Wagner, who 2 for 9 as a pinch hitter, 220 hitter, no homers, barely any RBIs, no power numbers at all. So what are you bringing him in there for? You said Wagner's had some good at-bats. Jackson Merrill doesn't have good at-bats. Oh, he hasn't faced big league pitching. He's been out. He's been on the injured list. To put him in against a lefty in a pinch hit situation, well, what are you paying him $180 million for, Shilty? What are you paying him $100? Why is he a cornerstone of this franchise? So he can sit on the bench, and you think, oh, they activated him. Strange. He's not ready to play. And I'm thinking the same thing. I'm going, hey, is he not ready to play? They activated him. What in the world is going on here? Then they pinch run him. He was out with an ankle. Clearly, he was fine to hit. Just chose not to hit him. Yeah, sit your franchise cornerstone who's making $180 million on the bench for a kid who's hitting 220 and 2 for 9 as a pinch hitter. Yeah, that makes sense, Mike Shildt. So in the 9th, you know what I mean? Aikens in for the O's. Iglesias flies to right. Johnson singles. Bryce had 2 hits on the day. So then he hits Wagner for Fermin. Wagner promptly rips one to second base. Easy double play ball. The Orioles' first baseman, some reason, he took his foot off the bag. I have no idea. Whatsoever why Mayo took his foot off the bag in that situation. Gave the Padres a gift, and Arraez ends up striking out. But to pinch hit Wagner there, game-ending double play ball he hits into. The other day he struck out with the bases loaded and nobody out in a key situation. Was it the Twins series? I think it was maybe the opener of that game. I can't remember. But the moves that Mike Shildt has made that have been questionable at best, laughable at worst, continue to grow and escalate. And I'm sorry, but when you have a team like this that's loaded with the talent they have, a bullpen like that, and I know that the rotation's been a problem. Darvish and King been out. Cease has been bad. Pivetta, thank God for him. But with a bullpen like that, with a roster like this, even with the injuries, with the goals they have and the money they're spending and the moves they've made and the prospects they've given up, it's not good enough for Mike Shildt to make mistakes and give away games. It's not good enough for Mike Shildt to not look like knows what he's doing out there at a time of year like this. And we've seen him with the Cardinals. We've seen him with the Padres. We know he knows how to win games. I don't want to sit here and just be that guy who blames the manager for everything. But what he did today, what he did for a while with O'Hearn before we finally got the message that I believe came from above him and said, play him every day or else. I mean, he's been stubborn with the lineup. I don't think he's used the bullpen in the right ways. And it's easy, again, for me to say, and I have to tread very carefully. But again, we don't get anything from the team. We're here to tell you the truth. You're the fans. That's what you get. That's what you deserve. And with that, I got a couple more things I got to do before we get out of here. Matthew says, I think Dylan Cease is a great pitcher, outstanding tools, great stuff at times, high ceilings, but can't even approach it. Again, no diss, but I think we broke him in 24 NLDS. He's talking about the Dodgers breaking him maybe. And that's, you have a game like that when the lights are on like that. Obviously, things like that can happen. The guys you traded for are doing their part, but Tatis, Machado, Arraez, Merrill, Cronenworth haven't done ish most of the year consistently. They are bottom of the barrel and slugging homers. I don't even want to see Jake Cronenworth on the field. So, yeah, there's that. All right, one more thing to do before we get out of here. I got to do it in a hurry, and it is...
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
I don't know if you guys are hearing that twice, but I am. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease, 4-3 Orioles. The final, and your player of the game, Bryce Johnson, 2 hits and an RBI. Luis Arraez had a bunch of hits, got his 1,000th career hit, and that was about it for the Padres today as they dropped the opener to the Orioles 4-3. Tyler Wells makes his first start for Baltimore tomorrow against Yu Darvish, 3-4, 5.66. Couple of not so good starts in a row for Darvish. Gave up a big 3-run homer last time out to Geno Suarez. A lot of pitchers have done that recently. So maybe Yu Darvish can give you the start that Dylan Cease could not give you today because you need to win this game. You've won 5 series in a row at home. You're 2.5 behind the Dodgers, who are off today. You're starting to talk wild card standings again. And this team, which, remember, they were in first place by 2 games heading into L.A., then they were in first place by a game heading out of the second Dodgers series. And look what happened there. You know what I mean? Look what happened there. You lose 4 out of 6 to the Dodgers. And look, you got a 2.5-game deficit with 24 games left. But now the Adam injury, Merrill's just coming back. Who knows how Fernando is? Things are not looking great for the Padres right now. 4-3 the final. Thank you for being here and for watching/listening to your Padres postcast. We're live right after the game on YouTube. Then after that show, we upload, you download Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Stitcher, Podbean, and of course, Roku. You down with OTT? No, you know me. 53. It's OTT. Over the top television, free on Roku. 4-3. The Padres lose the opener to the Orioles. First pitch tomorrow, 6:40. We'll be back here tomorrow night with another episode of your Padres postcast. Don't forget the podcast day to day with Javi, as well as all the other great baseball content on the network. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease. I am out. But first, I want to thank you again for being here and remind you to always keep your game tight and your mind right, San Diego. Make it a great night.